Should.
It's
Oh,
on.
it is on.
On.
Welcome back, everybody, to KawaKouple. This is Mrs. K right here.
Me and Mr. K here.
I think it's me. And today we do have a very, very special guest, somebody I've been wanting to get onto the stream, but I've been waiting for her to do a special thing where she takes off a piece of clothing, aka the helmet. So
just to specify, and it's not stuck to the head. It actually comes off after a while.
amazing how that works. So I would like everybody to welcome, definitely would love to welcome MotoKari. I've really, really, really wanted her on this, and she agreed. So cool.
Thank you for hosting it. This is awesome to be able to finally do this and not have to, have the screen shut off. And now people can see when I gesture like this and wave, and yeah, makes it more fun.
I mean, it's bad because I actually wanted to contact her. I think it was a few months ago, 2-3 months ago. I was thinking about
I think it was like October.
October, I wanted to contact her and say, look, if you ever do a face reveal, do it on my live stream. I totally forgot about it. That was around the same time we ended up taking a break. And as I'm watching the video, obviously you guys should know by now when she did her face reveal, and I'm like, no, she beat me to it. So I'm like, darn it. Well, that's okay. At least this is the first live stream, as far as I know, that she's doing without the helmet.
Since the helmet, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I don't do too many of these. I tend to actually have bad luck technically getting into live streams. So the fact that this works so smoothly is just like, yes, it works.
Okay, I'm trying to minimize my chat screen. There we go. Oh my God, Maddie got NASCAR Papa. Both of them are in. That's cool.
Hello, both.
Hey, Maddie.
Oh my goodness. Now, in case you don't know Maddie, so I don't know if MotoKari knows this, but Maddie has been literally the, what would you call it? The superstar of KawaKouple. This guy's been around for a long, long time. He's won.
Dare you dismiss Papa Smurf?
No. I was gonna say something in a second, but so Maddie actually won the
Fan of 2017.
2017, yeah. So he was a fan of the year. We sent him shirts, we sent him a bunch of stuff. So yeah, Maddie is very loved amongst the community here.
And he types a lot.
And he does type a lot, but let's see today. And on top of it, NASCAR Papa, now Ninja Smurf. But the Ninja Smurf where's Ninja Smurf?
That is Ninja.
No, sorry. Why is it NASCAR Papa when? Why is it not Ninja? Did you change your name again? I'm so confused with the names. Anyway, welcome, guys. So yeah, today we're going to be discussing something that's interesting, and I didn't even tell MotoKari what this is going to be about. So she's excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
You're intrigued?
I am intrigued. Yes.
We should hold off on it just a little bit longer and just kind of let it brew, right? No? Okay.
Well, I mean,
odds
it's your style.
Are she doesn't even know what it is, because I'm usually really good at holding everything back so that I surprise her during the streams as well. It's more genuine that way.
And more confusion.
That's true. So what's been up with everyone asking Maddie? Okay, before I continue this video, I do want to say this. I'm really, 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 really hoping to get MotoKari up to 1,000 subs. And I want to see that 1,000 subs by the end of this year at the absolute latest. I'm kind of hoping somewhere around July, August that she hits the 1,000 subscriber mark. And in order to do that, now I know there's going to be other people watching this video tomorrow and the day after and everywhere else. I put her link in the description below. Please go there, check it out. I promise you will not be disappointed, because her views on, motorcycle community and riding a motorcycle is actually 5 to 10 times better than mine. So if you want to,
yay, female riders.
Yes.
Exactly. So we've been asking for it. Now we got it. So it's really, really important to kind of, listen to what she's saying. She's been, no pressure, by the way, at all, Carrie, for future videos, but listen to what she's saying, because she really is. I love where she's going with all this. And that kind of leads us into today's topic, which is something I kind of hinted at earlier, MotoKari, which is basically motovlogging, and where motovlogging is going, where it's coming from, where it's at now, which is questionable, and where it's going, which is even the biggest question, because we have to figure out what are we going to do and why would we want to change it. But you have some ideas, right?
Yes, there's been a few kind of just percolating upstairs. Um, in the long run, not that there's anything against it, but like when you search for motovlogging now, it's just all kind of the road rage, the moto madness, and there's nothing against moto madness. Like I've seen a few of the compilation videos, and sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're the good moments that you sometimes, well, you don't always see. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, where they hand out food or they do something kind. They close the gas door on a car. But then you get the extremes that get millions of views where there's road rage involved. Personally, and this is where a lot of the thought process comes from, when watching other people's content, I'm looking to it as an escape from my own reality, whatever might be going on in that moment, or to find out more about their life, what they ride, where they live, how they think. That it's basically removing myself from my own moment and getting into someone else's world. I don't want to go into someone else's world if they're angry all the time. And that's where it might help to kind of steer the ship a little bit differently and get creative and just, it sounds so vague, but just to do stuff that hasn't been done before. What are you doing?
I just had to make you smile a little bit. You look so serious on there.
That's just my serious face.
Yes, it is. You know what, though, in all fairness, though, you're absolutely right. And because motorcycles for many of us is an escape from reality, when you see a lot of this stuff, it's bad. And it's kind of funny. Before we started the stream, I was telling you about a friend of mine who wants to ride. And one of the key things is this whole family-friendly thing, family-friendly channels. I understand why YouTube is doing it, aside from, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the idea. And so this person wanted to ride. And because this person wanted to ride, they came across my videos. They talked to me a little bit in private chats and so on and so on. And they said, man, I showed this to my parents, and they were like, they were good. Everything was great. Everything was fine and dandy. And the very next video after your video literally was Moto Madness with, an angry motorcyclist going nuts, and it was road rage. And my mom just looked at me and says, nope, you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad. It's absolutely bad when you look at that, because, oh my God, first Flashroom this year. Well, look who it is. We need so much more of you guys doing dual vlogs, because when that dual vlog, whenever you're involved, it's absolutely awesome. I love dual vlogs, especially with couples.
Yeah.
You need to get on there. Please get on there. By the way, Ray, hello. Sorry about not answering that.
Hi, Ray.
Maddie says, how's the Gixxer? Oh, yeah, how's the Gixxer treating you? By the way, Carrie, if anybody's asking you questions, please go ahead and just interrupt me and answer.
Oh, and Classic J.
Oh my God, Classic J, how's it going?
Hey, Classic. And I didn't say it before, but hey, Ray, and I think that's everybody. I got the chat going on the side.
Oh,
Ad Mortem.
Ad Mortem. Jeez, I haven't heard from you in a while.
What's it?
Well, mind you, we just kind of came back online, so I haven't heard from a lot of you in a while.
Yeah.
But today, normally we kind of we stray so far off topic whenever we're doing live streams. This year, I'm trying really hard not to, but
we're gonna put on the imaginary thinking cap to make them try harder.
That's gonna fall off pretty quick. But I'm a guy, man. Come on, I don't have thinking caps. That's why you're here. Keep the brains.
Exactly.
Right. See, but I mean,
just the one with the ideas.
You and I. One of the things we talked a lot about was, when it comes to motorcycles, and I remember when we got into it and how we were fascinated by the whole motovlogging aspect,
community and everything.
The community and everything else. And then I remember just kind of it almost started falling apart when almost everything that came up as suggestions was literally because, well, obviously they're getting a lot of views because of plain stupidity, to put it nicely. And that's the nicest way I can put it. When you have a bunch of boneheads out there doing some of the stuff you do and you get 2 million views, it saddens me because it does not truly reflect the motorcycle community. This reflects maybe about 5% of the total motorcycle community. I don't know if you agree with that, but
Well, I mean, for me too, I find that a lot of times is because of where they're doing it. If they're doing it in like a practice area, it's one thing. But when they're doing it on the main roads and main streets
with traffic around,
even highway speeds and causing issues.
I do like for example, one of the things we were talking about this earlier, but one of the things the first time that we really got into, trying to support MotoKari was actually her talking about, lane splitting. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most, I don't know if that was just awkward the way she did it, but it felt like she was
struggling a little bit.
Like, don't kill me today. So yeah,
that's most of my rides in the morning to work, to be honest with you. Depending how thick the traffic is on that particular road, like most mornings are just lane splitting, like pretty much for about half a mile or so, where it's that thick. So yeah, every morning it's that, like, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Not today.
Vesterman's here now.
Hi, wow. Vesterman.
How's it going, Vesterman?
Hey, Vesterman.
And you know most of these people, MotoKari. I don't think there's anybody here you don't know. I don't know about this Sir Flesh Wound guy. I don't see enough of him. Eventually, he'll be part of the channel. Is that the plan?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And, not to spoil anything, but it's actually coming up soon. When we did the helmet video, there were some. That was the first talking head style video that I'd ever done, and I didn't know what to do. It was kind of awkward. There were a lot of bloopers, and he's going to be part of it. So that's coming up.
Perfect. Is that without the helmet or with the helmet?
For me, without. So
you'll have to get him without the helmet, and the second that happens, you can do it on our live stream, right?
I already uploaded it.
Oh, darn it! All right, that's fine. But
I like how Sir Fleshwound says, "I think she just made me up."
He's a figment of everyone's imagination.
And it's really cool because I really want to, the way they've come together, the way you guys are communicating and everything else, it's really, really cool. And I know he mentioned in his video, see, we pay attention to your videos. He mentioned in his video that he doesn't understand how you're doing it. But wait, it's kind of funny though, because he doesn't understand how you're doing it, but he's the one that got you into it. Am I wrong?
I think the way that the question was going, he was the one that kind of suggested it, but I don't think either one of us really thought it would have continued the way that it did.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. And why is he not doing this?
I'll let him answer, but there's a few reasons, more or less due to time.
Okay.
Primarily, because it does, I think he's seen what I've had to do as far as setting aside time and editing and filming and everything, and he's got a bit of a busier lifestyle than I do, so that's probably scaring him off a little bit at this point.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's actually very difficult. Richie 636, hey, how's it going? I do agree. Oh, I love Vesterman. Goes, KK, you sit on the ground. This is so different. Yeah, we're sitting on the ground. It was her idea literally before we started this.
We haven't done it before, so why not?
Nope. And then who's
Chuckster?
Chuckster, there we go. Oh my god, I need my glass. I don't have my glasses. I left it in my car. So I can't see.
Maddie's poor little, I'm freezing just from his comment.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Wind chill of -50 with the wind chill and snow. Ooh.
Well, this is a good time for you and Samantha to just cuddle up and watch a movie. Netflix, man. It's -50. It's Netflix.
Well, no, she'll want to watch all the Disney cartoons.
That's okay. That's fine. Wow, he's not going to complain. Anyway, so with all that said, though, I do find it very interesting that when you started and that your whole progression and what you've done over the last, especially I would say over the last year. Putting in the 360 cam was a really good idea. I have to admit that I am so not a big fan of 360 cams. However, whatever the heck you're doing, it works, because I think it's literally the only time I've ever watched
a 360 video all the way through.
Yeah, otherwise I can't stand it. I literally don't. And it's funny because we were talking about this too, because you were saying, weren't you, that really 360, because I clicked on it and she noticed that it's a 360 camera, and she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know what she's doing. It's weird, but it works. So congratulations on a 360 idea.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea.
So what, just out of curiosity, what part is it? Because the thing that I've noticed while making some of those videos is it tends to be pretty polarizing, and people either love it or they don't. And so for the reasons that they don't, I want to try to learn more about why they don't and see if there's ways to kind of bridge that gap. Because I think there's so many potential things you can do with it, just in general, not just with motovlogging, that...
I was just going to say, I think it's just the way that you edit and put it together.
I think
because you have the two different styles of it being a bubble or being more like a panoramic
style. She's playing with it, if I'm not mistaken. She's trying to figure it out, like what works best for her, because she even said in her video that it's kind of there's the fun aspect of you exploring it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, me personally, my personal opinion, don't take this as anything because I'm a nobody, but I would especially with the 360s, I'm a huge fan of the way you're doing it, but I almost see them as working better for like the cinematic addition to the video rather than the whole video being like that. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does, actually.
And I think you already thought of that because I did see glimpses of that idea and the way you're kind of putting it together. So I don't know if you already kind of came up with that idea and just trying to mess around with it.
Well, in general, trying to do just the 360 content by itself, it can be kind of challenging if it's just that. It is, like you said, it does kind of augment what's already in a video to incorporate it as far as the different views. The thing that's really cool about it when you're editing that stuff together is you can choose where you're aiming and how much it's zoomed in or not, or panned out, I guess. You can choose all of that when you go in and edit versus in the moment where you're worried about where's the camera aimed, how is this going to look. It's basically capturing everything around you, so you don't have to really worry about that as much. So
sorry, I'm just reading Matt's his comment goes, wait, Mr. K, can't the Tesla bring you your glasses? Technically, yes, it can, but it doesn't fit into my apartment. So otherwise, yeah, it could actually bring me the glasses. You're very good. I do have to ask, I've been wondering about this, and I'm not sure if you have, because I haven't discussed it with you. For Sir Fleshwound, how did you guys come up with that name? And I should probably know, but how did you come up with that name? Because that seems so painful.
He'll probably respond in the chat to that. I don't think it was supposed to be a permanent name for him, but it just kind of stuck. I don't know if you guys had heard as far as his backstory and him being in an accident a few years ago, but I'll kind of, I don't know if he can hear me from here. He's in the other room, but he could probably elaborate a bit better. It is kind of a Monty Python reference, just as far as, you know, 'tis but a scratch. It's just something minor. And yeah, exactly, Chuckster. It's just a flesh wound.
So. I was wondering if there was more to it than, because I love how he just says Sir Fleshwound. I mean, it's a great name, first of all.
Yeah.
That would be very catchy YouTube name too.
Yeah.
But
Maddie wants Carrie to go to talk to Sam.
Yeah, so do you know Maddie by any chance, MotoKari?
Yeah, through social media.
Yeah, so obviously. But wait a minute, Maddie. I thought Sam was kind of on board.
No, to get her license.
Oh, to get her license. She's wait till this summer. She's gonna do it for us. She says she's gonna try. She says she's gonna give it a fair chance this year.
What's holding her back?
We did send her the helmet. So
yeah.
Unless she got rid of it. Unless she threw it away.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I remember Sam said, but I don't remember. I know it was hesitation.
Fair enough. Well, it's tough to get into it. I think it's very difficult. And again, this is why I want you guys to listen to MotoKari, because women riders are, I'm starting to see more of them. On Instagram, there's too many of them. No offense to anybody, but you know, a cleavage has nothing to do with motorcycle riding.
Or mini skirts.
Pretty much the majority of Instagram and motorcycles.
She's hiding for some reason.
Sure.
Hey, Paulina.
How's it going, Paulina?
Oh no, it went from live chat to top chat again. There we go. Now it says everything. Okay, whoa, I missed a lot.
You missed a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Maddie says she likes riding on the back until I drop the gear and disappear.
Well, Maddie, didn't I tell you to be good when she's around?
Exactly.
Jeez, I need to get you a pizza. That's when you calm down. But no, I think you understand what I'm saying, Carrie, with regards to, if you look at Instagram, and if you look at female writers on Instagram, majority are not exactly representing
what riding a motorcycle should be.
It's like women, and not meant in any sort of critical way, but it's women in motorcycles without representing women on motorcycles necessarily.
Right.
But that all kind of comes back, like what we were talking about with the Moto Madness thing, as far as kind of changing the direction that motovlogging is going and all of that. I've kind of adopted the phrase that you need to be the change you want to see in the world. So if you see that out there, you can agree or disagree with it, but if you want to see something different, go out and do it and be that person, because you don't know who else is sitting out there scrolling through a feed or looking through videos and waiting to see that change as well. And when they find you or they hear what you have to say, or they see you doing something different, hopefully that inspires them to do something themselves. You never know.
I'm going to actually, would you mind, because I honestly can't see properly, would you mind reading this out? Because what ends up happening is whoever's watching this later on is not gonna, they don't have access to this.
Okay.
So I actually find that pretty cool.
So the comment from Sir Fleshwound, which was basically, I got into a motor accident a few years back and broke quite a bit of stuff. Rather than it leading me to quit riding, I used it as a motivation to continue. Hence, it's just a flesh wound.
And I think that's probably one of my favorite ways ever written, actually. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot of that because I really, really like the way that, oops.
Well, I mean, it's the old adage of you get off the horse and you get back on.
Yep.
Okay, I can. Never mind. There we go. She'll do it. But yeah, I mean, I like the way you said that, because there are a lot of people that quit literally as soon as, the smallest things happen.
Oh, if that was the case, I would have quit right in the school.
Yeah, you fell a lot during the school. But yeah, no, I think it's really nice to see the whole aspect of motorcycles, and it's like you said, there has to be a change made. We have to get away from this mentality of what motovlogging is, because at this point, motovlogging, the term motovlogger is absolutely associated with, in my opinion, nothing.
Hooliganism.
Yeah, that's being a bonehead, right? And in order to change it, there has to be something done, and that's kind of why I really want to team up with a number of motovloggers like MotoKari, because I would like to
see the positive change,
and let's kind of overtake this mentality. Although I don't want it to be called motovlogging, I really don't. We talked about this just before the stream started. I have no idea what name to give it. I don't even want to associate the word moto in there, because the second you type that in, everything basically goes to anything else. So I don't know what to call it. You guys are more than welcome to leave suggestions, but I would like to see a change. And this was a huge part of our break, actually. I mean, we took quite a few months off, and it had a lot to do with this. We just saw we're putting out the videos, but I don't want to be associated necessarily with motovloggers. Not that I don't respect them. I respect all the motovloggers, because all of them do it because they love it. But I don't necessarily want to be associated with all the silly things. And if for nothing else, because of that one person whose own parents had everything. The poor guy is not allowed. He's still doesn't have his parents' blessings.
Oh, jeez.
And the reason mainly is because the mom decided to go on YouTube and type it in and look it up, what motovlogging is, what riding a motorcycle is all about. And although she found one or two really good things, she says, well, yeah, but the 200 other things I've seen are scary, and this is my son we're talking about. Now, of course, he only has to wait like another 4 months before he can do whatever he wants. Of course, he's not moving out, so my guess is it's still a big no. But I mean, the kid works hard and he's responsible, but I mean, I don't blame the parents. If I was in the parents' place, honestly, I'd have to say I'd have a hard time letting my kid, if I'm not riding myself, You know, I think that would be a bad thing.
Well, I think it's one of those things too, though, when you're going into riding, especially if you don't have any experience with it, it's one of those things where you can be really conflicted about it.
Right.
Does he have anyone else in his family that's into riding?
No, that's the bad thing. Absolutely nobody. In fact, he's almost everybody in the entire family, that everybody in his family and the circle of friends, by the sounds of it, everybody's against motorcycles. And he's trying so hard to find certain, and I believe he actually used one of your videos too. I recommended that. And I mean, he's been trying everything under the sun. The problem is every time he shows a video, his mom
finds 10 more bad ones.
I'm just worried that she's watching this, so I'm going to be very kind because she might kick my butt. But the problem is the fact that she was saying, you know, I'm glad that there are people that, you know, are smart and everything else, but he's still a young man, which I don't disagree. I am almost 40 and I'm pretty much brain dead as a man. So
there.
I understand that us guys we're always kids. So I think that's kind of what she's referring to too. But she goes, he's still a young man and he's easily influenced, you know, especially in a motorcycle community, like rides and everything else.
Right.
And I see where she's coming from. It's not that I don't see it. It's just at the same time, there's, I think, a lot of beauty in riding motorcycles. And if you have, I mentioned in a number of my videos that I wish that motovloggers themselves would realize that how much responsibility
that they're influencers in that sense.
You're an actual influencer. So what happens is when you go out there to make a video, you know, to get the views, you have to think about the fact that this is influencing a young potential future rider. So when you're going to go out, you know, ride down a highway, pulling wheelies between cars, you are influencing somebody. Right. And you know, people put this off as well. That's the same thing like saying, you know, the good old days where games are the cause of this, that, the other thing. And I say, no, it's not, because I don't look at, you know, a TV commercial or a TV show as a influencer, but I was influenced to ride mainly because of Walterific, right?
Yeah.
Right. But he set a really good example too, except when he decided to get on his phone and break his
no.
Yeah.
Change the song.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, we as motovloggers have a great deal of responsibility. And I think if you are on YouTube in general, if you are making content, there's a very large responsibility that's on your shoulders. And it should be thought of like that every day. I don't know why it's not. I don't.
At least with the content that you're choosing to put out, just be mindful that, yeah, there might be someone anywhere that may look to you in some sort of fashion, you know, as far as what you're doing and the sort of videos that you're putting out, whether it's to be inspired by you or to draw something for their own video, whatever it may be. I mean, at the end of the day, we make our decisions, and that comes with content too. It's also how we ride and the types of videos that we choose to watch. So it's all, but there is a lot of responsibility as far as kind of how you want yourself to be seen. But that's also why I think it's, especially now that hopefully that landscape is starting to change a little bit, we need more women motovlogging. Mrs. K, I'm so glad you're doing motovlogs again.
She's not doing enough of it though. I need everybody, by the way, this year to really get on her case. If you see 2 weeks max without her putting out a video, like, I need you guys to spam the heck out of her.
Okay, honestly, 2018 wasn't the best year for me for certain things.
No, it wasn't. I mean, with your eye surgery and everything else, it definitely.
Well, I mean, it started with the eye surgery, then I got sick, and then I decided that I needed to bust open my face. That was
not off of a bike, by the way. That was simply walking. And this is a person who busted her face open walking, riding a motorcycle.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying. So it wasn't the motorcycle's fault. She can do that walking.
So unfortunately, during the season when I could ride more, I couldn't ride more.
Yeah.
That always seems to happen, like right when you can actually ride and it's a great time of year to ride, something happens and you can't ride. That's how it seems to work.
I had a nice bruise right over here on my forehead. So every time I tried to put the helmet on, it was pushing on it.
It's in one of the videos. I'm pretty sure it was one
Oh
of the
no,
videos.
yeah, there's a beautiful thumbnail that this wonderful gentleman here put up of my gladiator bandage on my head.
Ouch. Husbands are good for that.
Yes.
Hey, it's not my fault. I'm doing all the editing. So when it comes to the editing, I can't help it. In fact, if you look at
But that was your choice.
It was my choice. I
Yeah.
couldn't help it. And that's so cool too, because when I'm editing a lot of her videos, especially if it makes me laugh or something that she does that's comical, I go overboard on editing because I'm laughing so hard. I just have to keep adding stuff in there. But yeah, it's being on a motorcycle is special and it's magical. It really is. I find it to be this.
Well, I mean, and you can also be crazy and just not get a car license and just go ride a motorcycle.
Which is really freaking awesome, by the way. Like, I can't imagine, and especially in California, I know Canadian drivers aren't really that much better than California drivers.
Vancouver drivers.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around learning on a motorcycle and having all the rules of the road and trying to keep that like in your brain at all times on top of operating a motorcycle. So that that's, I'm sorry for the language, that's totally BA. That's awesome. So
but the thing is on a motorcycle, unlike a car, you have the whole lane to yourself. When you're in a car, you're stuck. You have no room to maneuver the same way.
That's true.
And the irony of all this too is, okay, so this one, think about it. I mean, her very first license is a motorcycle license. And then now we're looking at possibly getting her to learn how to drive, which of all things, she's going to be learning to drive on a $160,000 Tesla. So I think she's okay. I don't think she has it that bad.
I never said I had it bad.
I think it actually worked out for her because the BMW was actually a little bit easier to drive.
Yes, because it's not as wide.
But the Tesla parks itself, doesn't it?
Yes.
But you're not allowed to use that during a test.
Oh, okay.
In fact, actually, here you're not. As far as I know, you're not even required to do a parallel
parking.
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't say hi to the blue bike and Doyle when.
Hi.
Take a moment because he is one of those that is actually doing something different. I don't know if you guys have ever watched his stuff.
No, I haven't.
Go check him out because he's got a series, Dicking Around in the Shed, and it's hilarious. He did one just recently where he was recreating Groundhog Day, and it's really, really funny. He does his meal videos out there.
I'll be monetized. You know that, right? I'm joking.
Well, no, you like The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. How'd you know?
He goes to all the different locations.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay, we love you.
Yeah, see? Yeah, but he'll go to some of the different filming locations and just shoot around there so you can kind of see like.
Yummy did that too, right? Yummy and Chase?
They tried to do that on one of their dual vlogs.
Yeah, that went bad because somebody, I think, had a gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just, I love watching his stuff, and sorry, Blue Bike, if I'm making you blush, but it's true. Like he's just got a totally different energy in his videos. They're a lot of fun to watch.
But this comment is the one where motor vlogging has to involve the GoPro on the front of the helmet is getting stale.
Okay, so I'm going to actually respond to that one really quick. The GoPro on the front of the helmet, I personally never liked the front view. I really do like the side view. However, I will give you this. There has to be a different view eventually. Here's the problem. There really is only two options, in the front or inside. And the key reason for this is because you can't mount it anywhere else, really. Now, you can have it as a secondary camera. That's something I do a lot, which is, the front-facing camera. I am going to come up with a few other things this year. There's a few surprises as soon as the weather clears up. We are working on a few projects. It's something that we kind of used this time off to think about. But there really aren't many options. It's going to be that. Now, one of the other options is definitely MotoKari's options, which is the 360 cam. And again, it works, but it still depends on. I mean, I think she'll agree with me if I say if you use that on every video, it's going to get boring pretty quick. And that's kind of where the problem lies here. I think it's the side view the reason I like the side view a lot more than the front view is because you can still see my helmet. You can see if my visor is open. There's a little bit more to it than just...
And your beautiful hand gestures with your helmet going up and down in the visor.
I find that there's a little bit more engagement with the side camera compared to the front camera. However, with the front camera, you do get a better view. And this all depends on the type of camera you use too. You use a GoPro, it's severely wide angle. You use a C910C, it's not as wide angle. It's more narrow view. You get more of a different view. But this one depends dramatically on person to person. In fact, I had people literally tell me, I can't watch your videos because I'm sick and tired of your helmet. And I go, well, thank you very much for watching it up to now. And I can recommend some of the other guys who don't do that. So would you like some recommendations? And he actually said yes. So I gave him a few other moto vloggers as recommendations. But I mean, it is what it is, but it's true. I mean, is there something else that you think motor vloggers could do, Carrie?
As far as camera angles, we've kind of hit the limit in terms of the GoPro on the helmet of what we can do. I like the side mount just because you do get that little sliver of humanity where you see the side of their helmet and you can see that it's a person. There is...
I'm so happy she said that.
Well, it's something different. Normally you get the chin mount, you see like what they're seeing looking down at the
first person perspective.
Thank you. That. So it's almost like a third person if you have it on the side.
Yes.
And then you have the B cam option, and a lot of people use that now. What I'm noticing more and more is that people are doing voiceovers. So they'll put their camera wherever they want to, is because they don't have to worry about having the mic hooked up. They don't have to worry about the audio quality, anything like that. So they'll do like a chest mount, they'll do the gimbal on the handlebars, and then they just go back later in editing, they add whatever it is that they want to talk about. It doesn't even have anything to do with the ride that they were on. They're just adding the commentary to the video, because then you have something visual that you're looking at and you're listening to someone that's trying to share their point.
See, I always found that to be very impersonal. I don't know why. I just find it to be very impersonal when I'm... It's almost like...
I think it's because of the reactions.
I agree.
You don't get genuine reactions the same way you would if the person was doing it as they're on.
A great example of this is, for example, in your helmet, in your helmet video, when Sir Flashman came, he waited for you and he came and you guys met up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't care where you put a camera, and I don't care what voiceover you're going to do. That moment, that specific moment is never going to be the same. That is such a priceless moment. And by the way, it's probably one of my absolute favorite parts of the actual cinematic role of that video, because here you are, you're just trying to keep that challenge. By the way, we're going to talk about the challenge in a second.
10-minute challenge one is the one you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, sorry. So in a 10-minute challenge, so you're so focused on trying to do what you're trying to do, and then, well, he just shows up. And there's that moment where I love it, because he pulls in right in front of you. Okay, I really don't care what in the world you're going to do and how well you're going to edit this and how well you put it together. You are never going to get that personal touch as the way it was done at that moment. And there's no other way to do this. No voiceovers. A chin mount would never have had the same impact. A front mount, let's say, something that's right on the front of the bike. I actually tried that once. It was horrible. So really, this system, the side cam, really, really does work for a much more personal
interaction,
right?
Right.
Before we go on, I did want to point out, sorry, Aaron, I didn't say hi to you for joining in. He says, bought the same bike as your husband 1 month ago, 2019 Ninja 650 ABS.
I think that comment was meant for me.
Okay.
You already read it, so there you go.
As your husband, so
yes.
I was telling you what. So it's a great bike. I really do love the bike. Did you ever end up riding the 650, Carrie?
I did not. I sat on it though. That's as close as I got.
Did you see my last video?
I watched the 01. That was the most. Is that the most recent one?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. Well, no. I did one after that, which was the evolution of motorcycles. But the 01 was actually really interesting. I have to tell you, I am shocked out of my mind with that bike.
Isn't it a trip? And there's so much, like you said, that it just has in common with the Tesla, as far as just, you don't have to really worry about clutch. You just kind of go.
I think I overdid it 1,000 times, but I couldn't help myself coming to a stop and just chilling out. No clutch, no neutral, no nothing. I just literally came to a stop. My foot was on the brake. I came to a stop and just like chilling out and relaxing. And man, it was so freaking awesome. It was just comfortable. It was,
and you loved how steady it was.
Yeah, that bike, it's balanced. I mean, I know. I couldn't tell you. It was so perfectly balanced. And there's a few points where I was actually showing how the balance of it. What the camera didn't show you is that there was a tilt on the road. So actually, this is how the bike was. And on top of it, the bike didn't follow the road. It just stayed perfectly steady. And I think I did mention it was windy as heck that day.
And the roads weren't smooth.
And the roads were not smooth. And that bike just stayed laser.
Our cameras do not do a good job at showing what actual roads we have here, because they don't do a good job of showing the slants. They don't do a good job at showing how steep the hills really are. Yeah.
I mean, in some places, I've gone to, some of the places like White Rock, where it's 35, or I think it's around 35 degree. It's like this. And most people don't believe me when I tell them, and I even tried showing him one video where I stood up here and I'm just like looking ahead. I'm like, that's me looking straight. And that is where I came from. And people are like, no, there's no such thing. Like, who's going to make a 35? I'm like, It
exists. Yeah. They've got some, I don't know that they're that steep, but I know in Seattle, they have some really steep roads as well. Like out where it gets more hilly. I remember when I was going there as a child and I saw one of those roads and it was just like at this angle. And it's like, how do the cars not start falling backwards down the hill? Like, how does this work?
Same with San Francisco.
San Francisco, too. Yeah. I like Maddie, who was, this will be a year for Mrs. K. By the way, guys, I know you guys are all commenting. I am reading the comments. I'm just not, I am trying very hard to turn over a new leaf this year, because last year I was so bad at going off topic and all the time. And today we do have a special guest, so we have to make sure we take care of her as well. And but I do read each and every one of the comments.
I want to touch on one though. It was Vesterman. He was one of those that said he's not a big fan of the voiceover videos. Yeah. Probably, I don't know, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but what you were saying as far as them being a little less personal is completely 100% true, because you don't have that in the moment sort of visceral reaction to your environment, your surroundings, the traffic, the people. But I know for some that prefer it, it's more of an opportunity for them to, my cat is tearing up the bedroom. I'm sorry, just totally distracted. She's going nuts. So, but it's more of a chance for them to kind of get their thoughts together, because I know that can be kind of a struggle if you're writing, to try to keep on subject unless you have notes or something like on a RAM mount or something and you have your phone right there. But you can go back later. You can kind of really, really think about everything. You can add other clips and video if you want to. It's more of a chance to just worry about all of that while you're writing at the same time. And that's why some people...
Well, my problem with the RAM mount is I'm not allowed to have one.
She's still a new writer here, so she's not allowed to have one.
Okay.
The second part of that is, it's funny, and now we're going to go into your 10-minute challenge for a sec. So, by the way, I love that 10-minute challenge. In fact, I think every single motor vlogger should actually do that. And
I agree.
Some people really need to. She's going to take that challenge. I promise.
Good.
And the reason for this is because I don't know how many of you guys have actually watched my videos. I almost never cut my videos. In fact, I'll do a 20-minute, 30-minute, hour video without cutting it. And some people can do it, but some people can't. Now it's funny because she is. I know you guys know this. I said it 1,000 times. The William Shatner effect is what I call it. Basically, she'll do this, and then, as MotoKari can tell you, editing is horrible. It's cut off, cut off, the cut off, the cut off, the cut. And every time you do that, those cuts, it's annoying. So that's the way she started out. She's getting better.
Mm-hmm. My last video was the last two videos you edited weren't as bad as they usually are.
That is true. And if you guys look, I mean, for me, on the other hand, I I can go on forever. In a real world, I kill my battery long before I'm done with my story, because I'm usually going to do 2 or 3 vlogs at the same time. Otherwise, I'm literally done with my vlog in 10 to 15 minutes.
But that's because you've never had to overcome the whole shyness and camera intimidation thing.
This is the same girl that knew me in high school at 14.
I do want to take a second because I know some people in here, and I know even you guys weren't really sure like where this all started. It wasn't like a nomination challenge per se, but this is for Chuckster. So there is a Facebook group if you want to join. It's called Challenge Accepted. If you look them up in the video, in the comments, I pinned one of the moderators of that page. You could just go request to be a part of the group, and it's kind of a smaller group of moto vloggers, but they come out with some really unique challenges. They had the Sunny Bear Challenge earlier last year. Another person that does a lot of those challenges is Hippo Drones. Old Man Tony, he does some of them. So these are, I mean, you get to see like all these other different channels and kind of their angle and how they're doing stuff too, which can be completely different. Hippo Drones also does the 360 videos, and he's got one of those sail mount systems. So it's actually like sticking out of his side, like behind him, kind of like a 3/4 view. And it's a trip to see it because you see him on the bike, he's cruising down the road. It's totally awesome. But the challenge is to basically talk for 10 minutes. You can't pause for more than 20 seconds and you can't edit anything. So once you start the timer, you start talking, you can't really pause. You have to make it to 10 minutes and then you can stop at that point. And it's just part of this group. So and this is kind of open to anybody that moto vlogs and wants to join this group. They're on Facebook. It's called Challenge Accepted. Just send the request. Make sure that they know that you're a moto vlogger and want to get in on that group. And everybody just kind of collaborates with each other. They bounce ideas off of one another. It's a really cool group to be a part of. So just letting you guys know, because in case there's ever any other challenges where maybe you don't see someone nominated or they say it's part of Challenge Accepted, that's what this is. It's a Facebook group, and I didn't know about it myself until a few months ago.
So does this mean that, yeah, but you can still nominate people, right? Like you could have easily nominated her, right?
Or easily. I mean, the thing is, the one thing I don't maybe like about challenges as much is it feels kind of like a exclusive club. Like you have to nominate a person or you have to be nominated to do something. And that's why like some of the stuff that ends up on Instagram, I'm just like, if you want to do it. Consider this your nomination, because I don't want anybody to feel excluded from being able to participate in something. So I think honestly, it is a fantastic idea for anybody that makes moto vlogs because of how difficult it can be to keep your thoughts together on the motorcycle. And like that one, that was what, my 4th time, maybe 5th, trying to record that thing, because there was just something that came up like every single time I tried to record it. My mic was dead for like 2 or 3 of them, and I had no idea, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, but it was like completely just stone silent, like completely dead. I had a really weird road rage thing go down behind me on one of them, so I got really quiet, and I'm just staring in my mirrors for like a half a mile. And then another one, I think it was just like really horrible traffic. And it's like the lane splitting video. If I'm focused on the road, I am totally silent. I'm not talking at all. And so that makes it a challenge too. But then if you're silent, like, you know, with Mrs. K and how sometimes you'll start saying something, you get caught up on something on the road, you pause, you get kind of quiet, and then you go back to what you were saying. So there's that like long silence. And then you're stuck like, oh, what was I just talking about?
There's no continuity. You lose your continuity, and when you lose your continuity, you find yourself in a weird spot in your head, right? Where you're literally like, okay, I think I was here or not, and a lot of times because you remember you did that, and I literally said the video is useless because you went on to like 4 different topics in 15 minutes, and not finished one of them. Because again, she had these little distractions that kept coming in. Mind you, she was like her 2nd month into motovlogging, but one of the things that most people,
and I was still learning all the controls.
Yeah, the irony behind all of us is the big thing about us was when we started riding is when we started vlogging. So our videos are literally us learning
the progression of us actually learning to ride and motovlog at the same time.
Yeah, so it's not like we knew how to ride. We didn't. We bought we bought the bikes first, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Then we decided to go to school.
Well, actually, no, because we had actually technically already signed up for the school before we purchased the bikes.
Fair enough. We still didn't have licenses. And then we went through the school, and then we started riding. And we already had the cameras as soon as we finished the school. So we already had, because we bought the bikes and the cameras at the same time. So everything was ready to go. And
we just went all force right at it.
So yeah, keep in mind that
and it was mostly my idea, apparently.
Yeah, so the funniest part is, keep in mind that Mrs. K, not only did she never have a license, and not only did she start with a motorcycle license, not only she has never ridden a motorcycle, but she's never vlogged either. So she's literally trying to learn the road, learn the bike, learn traffic, learn the rules, all that stuff, learn how to ride an actual bike, learn how to vlog at the same time. Yeah, that's what she was. She's been through the last 3 years.
That's a lot. And Sir Fleshwood can probably chime in. I'm sure in the first probably 3-4 months that I was riding, like we would go riding together and I was just like completely quiet. And it was almost like, are you okay? What's wrong? Like, nothing, I'm just focused. Because it's a lot. And, you know, it's, especially if you're just learning the road, the rules, sort of the habits of other drivers and things like that. It's a lot for your brain to kind of comprehend all at once. So that, like, and that's the thing, like, it makes sense. And as far as doing the 10-minute challenge, it's almost helpful to do it just to get in the habit of keeping the thoughts going. Even if sometimes you look back later, like, what was I saying? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's something that she and I decided we don't delete videos, right? And the reason we don't delete videos is because it's fun to go back. I am actually, I think the very, very first video was of me going through Stanley Park.
Yeah.
I think that was the very...
Or down, no, just going downtown, I think.
Or going downtown. That was 30-minute video, the very first video. And God, every time I look back at it, I cringe. But at the same time, you know, it's fine. I see the progression and all that stuff. Now, in all fairness, though, I think it's kind of cheating because I do have a background in photography. I do have background in a bunch of different things. But at the same time, it's still very, very difficult to figure out all the details and to go through the process of motovlogging. Most people don't actually understand how tricky it is. Of course, if you think you have a hard time motovlogging on a bike, you should try doing vlogs in the car. I'm telling you, you're gonna go nuts. That is so much more difficult. When I started up the Tesla channel, I could not believe the amount of headaches I had with the cameras, the microphones, everything else.
It's more the angles too, because in the car you have so much real estate to work with,
and yet so little. It's weird, right? And motovlogging, I'm hoping that you know, we're coming down to 10 minutes or less here, but I think one of the big things with motovlogging, ultimately there has to be changes. And I think this was kind of the big thing today I want to touch on. I would love to see people, man, okay, I'm gonna say this one more time in this video. I really need you guys to help me get MotoKari to 1,000 subscribers, okay? And I really, 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 really want that. If you guys want to unsubscribe from me, 1,000 of you, and go to her, please do that, okay?
No.
Because I need, one of the things, I think she has done a lot better job in the last little while than we have, because the way she's explaining things, it's much more personal. It means a lot more to her in many ways. For us, one of the things about our vlogs is it's a lot to do with us, and it has to do with a personalized vlog to us. But for what she's doing, she's actually doing the right thing for the community. I am very, very happy to see that, because there's very few people that have ever really, when it comes to the actual community on motorcycles, very few people just do it for the community, not for a selfish reason, not for our reason for having YouTube. Their number one reason is because we want to, well, record what we're doing. But number two reason is because I want to get that 100,000 subscriber plaque. Not that it's anything special, I just want it. And it's part of, just, I guess, an achievement thing. So for us, it's about our life, and it's one of the reasons that I enjoy doing why I love doing, you know, YouTube, and why I have KawaKouple in the first place. But in all fairness, I don't know if we contributed to the motovlogging community as much as we should have.
I tried a few times.
You did actually.
You tried a little bit too.
But when I see that there's a consistency with certain motovloggers that do that, including Carrie, I really, really want them to succeed because honestly, like I said, even with one of this poor kid that can't get a motorcycle, even with him, I did point the parents towards her videos, a few of them, and I would love to see more of that because I think the motorcycle community can grow, and the only way that it's going to grow is the right people are giving out the right advice and talking about the right things. I am very, very all over the place, right? I'll talk about anything. When I'm on a bike, I am a totally different person than I am in real life because, well,
that's not true. You chatter a lot no matter what.
Yeah, I never shut up. But the point, though, is that I don't actually necessarily talk strictly about motorcycles or strictly about the community. I'm not saying anybody ever does, but I think there's
people that touch on a point a little bit better than other people. And sometimes what happens when you get distracted in your thoughts or your ideas, it kind of has a roll effect where it's like the stone doing the moss.
Yeah, and I get distracted on a bike like that. I'll get on a bike. I'm just gonna go and have fun. Mrs. K, on the other hand, she is a little bit more Carrie style in a sense that she really likes. I find that
I like to find my topic, but my problem is sometimes I talk too fast right at the beginning, and then I run out of my idea of what I was trying to say, or I don't know how to continue on the topic.
It's even worse when she gives me a 2-minute video on the topic, and then she goes, "I did a video," and I'm like, after editing, it's like 1 minute 15 seconds.
But still, she got to the point. Then that's, I mean, especially if I'm having like an off day, I could have like a 10-minute video and not cover anything, and you could have a 2-minute video and cover everything. So There's nothing necessarily wrong with the shorter videos. You can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, just YouTube doesn't like them.
Maddie says, just make 1,000 YouTube accounts. Guess it doesn't exactly have the same feeling. No, it doesn't, Maddie. You know that. Okay, wait a minute, Maddie. You were so good at those little puns, man.
One-liners.
The one-liners. What happened?
But I like Blue Bike and Doyle's one. Me and the wife tried to do a vlog, and she almost ran me over. So I don't put the camera on the spider anymore. Does that sound familiar?
She actually hit my handlebar. This was like
I hit your elbow.
You hit my elbow
with my mirror.
This was I would say about 2 months in. We were in Stanley Park, which is a gorgeous park, and we were riding, and I saw pedestrians wanting to crash. To stop, to cross. I can't talk.
No, it was the bicycle.
Oh, the bicycles.
No, it was the bicycle.
I'm coming to a stop, and I'm communicating with her. I'm like, honey, slow down, stop, right? And she's like, just coming by and just bang.
I said, I can't, because there was speed bumps coming up too.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my controls down pat yet.
I didn't fall over them.
And my mirror ended up getting folded.
Yeah, like literally, she hit my elbow so hard the mirror just Kawasaki. That's actually pretty hard because those are pretty great mirrors.
I thought he was never gonna go riding with me again.
Yeah, I just took off after that. I went to the nearest parking lot. I sat down. I'm like, what just happened? Like, you ran into me. I don't care if it's the mirror. You ran into me. We got to work on this, And this is part of the experience too, though. I mean,
but see. Here's the thing. When we smack mirrors in California, it's because we're splitting lanes and we got a little too close to a car, and we call them love taps. So that's what she did. It was a love tap.
Look, stay on your bike. Don't touch anything else. Don't touch anyone else. You touch your own bike and leave it at that. That's my true belief.
Hashtag hasn't done a live stream in a while, so Mr. K can't do words.
Mm-hmm.
I love when they put those up.
There is Maddie gone for you.
Gusterman did that a lot too.
Yeah, I know. I gotta love you guys.
Yes.
But no, it's first of all, let me say, we're pretty much done, and we did agree with Carrie that it's gonna be a 1-hour show. So I'm gonna say this first and foremost. Thank you very much for all of you guys who have shown up, and for all of you guys who actually I don't know particularly, so you guys are new. I'm definitely gonna have to check you guys out. Westerman, of course, fly Maddie to KawaKouple.
Hashtag
fly Maddie to KawaKouple.
Lord Shampoo is there.
Oh, hey, Lord Shampoo.
Oh my God, Lord Shampoo. When did you?
Made it.
Oh no.
Oh man, this is not the first time you did this.
It is really cool to see, like, because I've gone to your guys' live streams. You guys, honestly, I thank you for hosting this, and you guys have been around since the beginning. This is an endeavor that started for me like 2 years ago, and you guys have been around from the beginning and have supported since day one. So this is really awesome to be able to do this now and have the live stream. But there's so many familiar names in here that, like, from all the live streams that you guys have done in the past, to be able to just talk to them and everything. It's just cool. It's like old hangout is back again for you guys. That's awesome.
And we're planning on having it back. We are planning on bringing the regular thing back. And you are, anytime you want to join, please let me know. You're more than welcome to join. You're going to be one of our.
Send us a message.
You're going to be one of our superstars on this channel. I know we are. So anytime you have anything, just simply message me and I'll send you the link. You could join in anytime you wish. And I really want to thank each and every one of you guys for showing up. I definitely want to thank you, Carrie, because I really, really wanted you on this channel. I wanted to, well, first and foremost, just say hi face to face, because we have not done that.
Yep.
So
yeah, hi.
Hi.
But
I could get Mrs. Kate on a live chat finally. Like, I'm sorry, but female motovlogger to female motovlogger, it's cool to finally, I enjoy doing the live streams and talking to other women writers and everything. So
I really would actually love it. I cannot. We've had a problem before where I could not get involved in. We couldn't do a live stream because this one will not talk by herself. First of all, and second of all, work. But I mean,
I'm better at it than I used to be. So
if you're open to it, Carrie, I would actually love to see, especially if I'm not around, and I'd love to see you guys do a live stream together, because I think that would be so much fun to watch. Mainly because I am the kind of person who, well, this is why I can do motovlogs for hours on end. I never shut up, right? I keep talking and talking and talking. So I have a lot of things always on my head. My brain is working 24/7. But I would love to see a live stream where Mrs. K and Carrie can actually talk without Baldy over here interrupting.
The girls only moto stream or something.
Right, exactly.
Do that.
Yeah, so that's something you guys can work out. And then we'll set it up. We'll figure it out.
Awesome.
Maddie says hashtag Mr. K trying to get out of work.
That's.
How'd you know? Damn it.
Maddie always knows.
Maddie always knows. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Up.
And we're probably going to be back within the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Just look forward to... William. How's it going, buddy? We'll be back probably in the next probably in about 2 weeks. We'll be back up on maybe next week if we're feeling okay.
If we got it, yeah, we got it.
But live streams are back, boys and girls. And until next time, we love you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Don't forget, love, ride, explore. Bye.
Bye.